Hello everyone. There has been a lot of drama about an upcoming game Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 recently. I believe a lot of that is simply a cultural misunderstanding and I would like to rectify that. I have decided to use AI to read this text because it is less insufferable than my own accent. I would like to make 2 points about our cultural background. First, Central Europeans do not have much insight into American culture wars. We simply do not have the capacity for that because we have our own culture wars. It's usually about our relations with Washington, Brussels, and Moscow. And also about our communist past. It is not about ESG, DI, or woke versus anti-woke. Second, we are one of the most atheistic countries in the world and most developers probably identify themselves as atheists. What I am trying to say is that the first KCD wasn't meant to be either Christian or anti-woke game. Simply becasue the developers are not Christians and they are not involved in either woke or anti-woke movements. It was meant to be a historical game, and those who claim that KCD has betrayed its own Christian and anti-woke identity are simply wrong. There was no such identity in the first place. Now let's move to the criticisms that we usually hear on YouTube. First one is the gay romance. I have no problems with gay romance under 2 conditions. First, the game does not encourage me into it every 5 minutes. Second, it is portrayed in historically accurate way. But the first condition is much more important to me. I have even refunded Baldur's Gate 3 because it felt like a romance simulator. From what we know at this moment and from the online footage, it is quite clear that KCD 2 is not a romance simulator of any kind, gay or no gay. Let's move to next issue. Second issue is an African character that is present in the game. Let's recall what this whole inclusivity was about back in 2018. A perfect example is the Doctor Who show. We saw African noblemen in 17th century France, African gondolier in 15th century Venice, African legionary in ancient Rome or African villagers in 16th century England. It would really make me upset if there were villagers, Czech noblemen, or the king portrayed as African people. But that is not the case here. We don't know whether someone like Musa came to Bohemia with a foreign army. Maybe someone like him came to Hungary, Poland, Austria, or some other country around. We don't know that for sure. Remember that absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. But most important is whether the character behaves and is treated to an historically believable way. Last point of criticism is the communication with gaming community. What a lot of people don't realize is that using same language is not a guarantee that you understand each other. A lot of misunderstanding is caused by cultural differences. For me as a Czech person, it is quite obvious that statements made by Warhorse are misinterpreted on the other side of Atlantic Ocean, and that responses coming from there are misinterpreted here in the Czech Republic. A woke activist placed to the position of a community manager didn't improve the situation either. Maybe Warhorse should have hired someone from US as a community manager, maybe they should have accepted help offered by people like Grums or Endymion. But this should have definitely been handled better. Final conclusion. In my opinion, there is only one valid point of criticism towards Warhorse, and that is the communication. Other stuff is based on wrong assumptions and mutual cultural misunderstanding. The game is neither woke nor anti-woke. Simply because neither of these movements exist here. Thank you for listening.